Thank you for joining me on today's educational call. Today, what we're going to be talking about are VA burial benefits. My name's Joe Johnson. I'm going to be your host today, and we're going to dive right into the topic of VA burial benefits. Before we get into all the benefits that are available, because there are some tremendous benefits available to our veterans, I just want to talk about my sources a little bit. Most of the information that I received today is information that I've taken directly off of the website. It's the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. This is where the information, so you can actually go onto that website yourself and just verify, double check all the information I'm going to be giving you. Also, a lot of the information I'm going to be sharing and some of my stories are personal information in my personal experiences. I'm a veteran myself, served in the United States Marine Corps, and have had a lot of family members that have served as well and have passed away. Most recently, my father passed away in 2010, and he was in the Army, actually retired Army as a colonel. And so from personal experience, I can kind of relay what I went through dealing with the VA, the funeral home, and what was and what's covered and what's not covered. Because it seems to be, and this was myself as well, because I was a little bit confused before that happened. Because I served, I was kind of always under the impression that the VA covers everything, because you hear burial benefit, the VA covers your burial. So I guess I was kind of misled myself, is that the VA covers everything. And what I found out, unfortunately, although the benefits are tremendous, they just don't cover everything. So let's hop right into the program, and let's discuss exactly what the VA does cover. First off, as you see this image of this, the honor guard there with the flag. So if you're getting buried at a national cemetery, there is a honor guard that will come out and perform the service. It's phenomenal. Usually it's not this big, unless you're probably super, a decorated veteran getting buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Usually it's 2 or 3 either active duty or veterans that come out and do the ceremony, but it is extremely nice. It's extremely nice service to have done. So that's the first thing, is the honor guard. The other thing that is covered is the marker. They provide a beautiful marker. If you're getting buried at a national cemetery, they provide the marker. If you are getting buried in a private cemetery, the VA will actually reimburse you money towards the marker. Now, this headstone that you happen to see in this image, it's not a random picture taken off of the internet. This is actually my father's marker, David George Johnson. As I mentioned, he retired as a colonel in the U.S. Army, served during Korea and also the Persian Gulf War. He died in 2010. So a lot of the information that I'm providing to you is not just stuff I read off the internet, but actually my own personal experience in dealing with my own father's death and burial, and dealing with the funeral home and the VA, and trying to maximize all the benefits that we are entitled to. So you do get this beautiful marble marker, which if you're a veteran will save you a ton of money. The other thing that you do get is this beautiful flag, and the funeral home will help you provide or help you apply for a lot of the benefits. All the funeral homes across the nation, they do a wonderful job. They're really in touch exactly what the VA does and does not cover. So if there's any confusion about the information, you can contact any local funeral home and they can help provide you with the information and help make sure that you get every benefit that you're entitled to. So you do get the beautiful flag. The other thing that I forgot to mention is that you get the plot as well. So when I scrolled up here, we talked about the honor guard. You can see the flag, the casket that's going down. The only thing is the VA doesn't actually pay for your casket. Okay, so, but they do pay for the actual plot, or you can get a reimbursement. Okay, so moving on, let me kind of catch up here. Okay, this is information taken directly off of the Veterans Administration website. So if you're currently alive today, that means you haven't passed away. That means you are a veteran that's going to die after October the 1st, 2020. The VA will provide a maximum benefit of $300 towards burial reimbursement, or $807 for the plot. Now, if you're getting buried in a national cemetery, you're not going to receive the $807 because they're already giving you the plot, but you are entitled to receive that extra $300 towards your funeral cost if you're having a traditional funeral. So that's a tremendous benefit. In addition to that, if you are a veteran and you are under the care, if you're in a, when you pass away, if you happen to be in a VA hospital or a VA nursing home, they actually increase that reimbursement up to $807 burial allowance. That's an allowance that goes towards help paying some of your funeral costs if you're having what we would refer to as a traditional funeral. And also you're going to get the free plot as well, that reimbursement or the plot at the National Cemetery. So that's your tremendous benefit. Now keep in mind that's only if you're in the care of the VA at the time of your death. Okay, the marker. We kind of talked about the marker. The VA does provide a marker. It's a headstone or marker allowance. Again, if you're getting buried at the National Cemetery, they cover the full cost of that beautiful marker. If it's a private cemetery and you're having your own marker made up, your family's entitled to receive $236 as a reimbursement for that marker. So again, maybe not enough to cover all of it, but still it's a tremendous benefit that the VA is providing to our service members. You may also be entitled to some moving cost. Moving cost means is that if you pass away at a hospital or pass away at home, they have to transport the body. Usually, it depends. Sometimes it goes to the morgue, then the funeral home. Sometimes when the coroner comes, they'll just have the body go directly to the funeral home. That's not free. There's a cost involved in transporting the remains to the funeral home. If you die in a VA care facility, VA hospital, VA nursing home, there could be extra money available to cover that transportation cost. Okay, so that's really what the VA is covering. Just to cover those points again, you get the free plot, you get a free marker, headstone, you get a free flag, and you get the honor guard that will come out and do the service. That's everything that's provided you from the VA. So what I'm going to talk about next is my own personal experience when my father passed away. What we actually had to pay for out of pocket, which at the time we weren't expected until we got educated by the funeral home and the VA as far as what is and was not covered. So that's what we're going to get into right now. If you plan on having a traditional funeral, these are some of the costs that I experienced that the funeral home charges to have the service. One is you just have the general professional services from the funeral home. It's most funeral homes across the nation, it's roughly about $1,800 for that professional service. Transfer of the remains, if you didn't die in a VA hospital, it's about $250 to have the body transported. Casket, average casket cost is a little bit over $2,000. You can get something cheap for about $500, like pressed wood cardboard with fabric on it, or something super expensive like a wood casket. Usually the metal ones are the cheapest, $1,500 to $2,200 for a nice metal casket. That's what most people are going with these days, a lot cheaper than wood. Embalming, that may be necessary if you're having a funeral service and the body's going to be exposed to the elements for a few days. You don't want the body to start decomposing. So embalming is not covered by the VA. Cosmetology, they want to make you look good. So $200 typically for cosmetology. Staffing for the viewing, $395. Funeral staffing for the service, $450. These are all just your general cost. If you've ever been to a funeral, these are the things that go into it at a funeral home. The use of the hearse, $275. It really adds up. You know, it would be nice if the VA covered a lot more than what they do. Use of a limo, about $125 on average. Service van, if you're having a funeral and then you're going to be moving directly out to the gravesite, you're going to want to take out the flowers and all that stuff. You may need to rent a service van, or the funeral home can provide one. There's a cost for that. Memorial cards, about $175 on average. Could be more if you have a lot, depending on how fancy you want them. The clergy service, you need to pay your minister a little bit. A couple $100 on average is what most people pay their service member to come out. So when you add it all up, even though the VA has tremendous benefits, if you're going to have a traditional funeral, you're still talking about $700 or $7,000 out of pocket for service members to have a proper funeral service. Now, there are cheaper ways to get around it. You could skip all this and just do, you know, a direct cremation. And then you're going to have the cost of your cremation, which is about $1,500. And then you're still going to have transportation of the remains, which is going to cost a couple $100, and maybe you have a small service. So, you know, maybe you can cut, you know, if you skimp a lot of things, maybe you can cut your costs down to, you know, a couple of grand. But to have a normal funeral, you're talking anywhere on the low end, about $4,500 to $5 grand, and it can be as much as 10 or 11,000, even before you get into the cost of the plot and the marker and all that. So just know this, is that the VA does provide tremendous benefits, and thank God they provide what they do cover, but it doesn't cover everything. And lastly, there could be a few extra little miscellaneous costs that maybe we weren't thinking about. If you're going to have a funeral procession, you may have to, you're probably going to have to get a police escort. Most municipalities are going to charge anywhere between $250, as I've seen it, as much as $500, depending on how far they have to go and how many police cars are involved. And then you may want to provide a nice family luncheon for your family and provide some food. You know, that could be for, you know, way for the family, everybody get together. That could be anywhere from a couple $100. I've seen it as much as over $1,000 for a nice catered banquet. So this educational video has been provided to educate folks on exactly what the VA does cover and exactly what they don't cover. I hope it's been helpful. If you have any questions and you want to contact me directly, here's my personal number. Joe Johnson, again, is my name, my direct phone number. If you want information on this benefit, or if you'd like to receive information on maybe getting a program that can help cover the difference, what the VA does not cover, you can contact me directly. I can put you in touch with a local agent so we can get you information on getting you a policy that will cover what the VA does not cover. So Joe Johnson, my phone number is 630-890-8609. God bless America, and thank you for watching this educational video. I hope it's really been helpful. Thank you.